Okay, now let's take a look at the folder structure and where the files that you'll be changing are located. So once the project is created on NetBeans, let's drill down to WP content, themes, and then the domain folder. And everything that is here, or most of the things that are here, can be changed, and changing them would change the website look and feel. Right? So I like to draw attention to a few elements here. First, the folder's structure. As you can see here, I created a few folders. One of them is the assets folder. That's where the CSS files are, or the favicon is. The favicon is a little icon that is displayed at the top of the page when you're loading it. As you can see here, there's the little PL at the top. That's the favicon. There are fonts used on the website, and images. There's all sorts of images here. Ideally, you would want to add all the images that you're using on a website within this folder. However, to make it easier, you can create a folder outside of here, or maybe a subfolder within images, and just start putting your photos there. Right? So it wouldn't mix with the website photos. Some JavaScript files for the menu, some plugins extra. Many of them we're not using on the website. I'm leaving it here just in the future if you would like to continue working on the content and have different tools to use, the carousel images and pop-ups and so on. So I'm leaving all those extra stuff, all that extra stuff there. So the contact here is just some PHP files and scripting to send emails. This is actually, we're not using it at the moment, but it's very easy to set up and get it to work. I'll leave it there. I created a few extra folders here, for example the PPT folder, so I know you have PowerPoint files, so you would probably want to copy those files to the PPT folder. I created a folder radio and other TV, just so if you have audio files for radio or videos for TV, you can add it here. You could create a folder called documents and have those folders there. I suggest here to create not too many folders to keep it organized. You can create folders within folders, as we've seen here, assets and then CSS and images, and then there's another layer. So this is very important to keep it organized so that you have you make it the maintenance of the website easier. Okay, so now let's look at the files, and I think, well, there are a lot of files here, but I think the most important files will be three sets of files. First is the header, and the header is actually where I configured the top part of the website. So it's when I add the CSS and the JavaScript necessary code, as well as the menu, as we can see here. So if you look at the website, we have the your logo here at the top, the people's lobby, and then we also have a menu starting with about us. So if I'm just going to scroll down here, you can see that we actually have the image. So Dwayne Han. So this is actually one image with the logo and the people's lobby, and as you can see, it is on the assets folder, images, logo.png. So if we would scroll up, we would come here and take a look at assets, images, and logo.png is there. Please note that when you're setting up the source, it's not simply /assets/image/logo.png. You have to add this PHP code here, and this will repeat everywhere in the website. So every time you're referencing an image, a file, anything that you added to the project and you want to put a link, you want to make it an image, even videos actually I suggest you to use YouTube or Vimeo, but even if you would add videos. So what this instruction is, is it translates to the path of the website dynamically. In other words, instead of going there, C column forward slash websites forward slash blah blah blah, which would change from computer to computer, this would dynamically get the folder structure for you up to the domain folder, which is considered the website root folder. So if you would come here to the www directory, and we would go all the way to domain, WP content, themes, and domain, and then look at this link, this path. It's a huge path. So instead of coming here in the source and putting all this right with the and then even switching this to forward slash here, this would also work, but it would make it specific to your computer. If the server structure is different, then it will be different. None of your links to images or links to files would work. So let's just erase that. Let's go back to the PHP code. So remember, this is a key instruction. Every time you want to reference something in the folders, you put this and then you complete with the remaining option, right? So if just for the sake of it, let's go to images, and there is a let's look at this dummy PNG here. Let's see if I can open. Oh, this is too big. Okay, the avatar. So let's use avatar. So let's say that I'm gonna change this to assets, images, and now avatar.png. After I change and save, if I go to the website and do a reload, you see that the logo changed to an avatar. Unfortunately, you don't see it here because it has a white background, but if I drag and the image around, you see that it changed, right? So let's go back here and change to logo. Save. A shortcut is Control S. So press Control S together, and to reload the page, Control F5 together. See, the logo is back there. Alright, so let's go back to NetBeans, and now we see the top navigation here. So this whole top navigation section is the menu. So every time you need to change the top menu, you're gonna change it here. All the pages will have the same menu, but you don't have to change for every single page as you used to for on front page. What you have to do is just to change here, and the change will be propagated all over the website. As we can see, the first one is about us, and so we have a div here which covers that whole section. Then we have a little instruction list, the navigation, UI, UL. It's an unordered list, so we have the list starting, and then the menu will be that list, and then each LI would be one of those top options on the menu. So you see the first LI here, it's about us, it's there, and we have the sub options here. So we have the within the LI, they have another unordered list, another UL, and have to put the class here. It's very important, right? So we use the CSS as a pre-built already that I developed for you, and then within that UL you create LIs, so the list elements, and then you can continue putting in inner elements. So let's say we have an option here, our organization, and then we have People's Lobby Incorporated, history, and then the other pages there. We see we have 4 layers. So let's look at how it works here. Let's look at the second LI. So it's our organizations. So within that LI, we're putting a link here to our organizations. As we see, this corresponds to the our organizations you're seeing at the top, and you pass the mouse over, it shows the first unordered list, the first UL, and that first UL is the People's Lobby Incorporated. That's the first option. See UL drop down menu, and then the first LI here, the second LI here, and then it will close LI and UL. So we know now that the first list has only 2 options, and these are the options. And now let's look at what we can do. So within an option we can add another submenu. So that's what we're going to look here now. So within that LI option we create a new UL, a new submenu, and we have the mission here, and as we can see, go back there, have mission, and we have history, so People's Lobby Incorporated history, and then we have a submenu here. So now we see the LI class drop down menu, have a link, right, this to history, and then within that history you have a new UL, a new unordered list with all those 4 options there. So let's say that we would even like to create a 5th option, right? So within this LI here you would simply create a new list. Okay, so let's just make those changes on the fly here. So I would create a new UL and the class drop down menu. You see that I'm using the autocomplete feature, and that's control and space together. So now here I'm gonna create a new list, a new LI, and let's simply create a copy and paste here just so you see how it works. Now when we refresh the page, go People's Lobby Incorporated history, and then just look here, and so I just adding here the class drop down. I forgot that before. So new class drop down submenu to the LI, and then if we save and go to the website and refresh, now you see that the history has the add and joys here, has a new submenu that it's even going beyond my screen here, but since it's a test it's okay, right? So you can continue adding it, but the limitation will be the screen size. Okay, so let's undo this. So it's undone, and then if we refresh, it goes back to normal. Okay, so another just a few details that are very important here for the header. First is to identify where the top navigation starts, and then within that top navigation you have a list, which is an unordered list. You don't really have to change that. What you will be able to change, or you can change, is the LIs within that first UL and everything therein. So each LI here at the top would be one of those top options, and within each LI you can have a submenus. So as you can see here, the class for the LI is a drop down active. It means that it gives you an option to have this sub list, whereas if you look at, for example, donate, there's nothing there. If you just scroll down and look for donate, see the LI here doesn't have the drop down class, it only has the active class, so there's no drop down there. Okay, all the other ones they do have, so we can see here LI class drop down and active. Okay, so within that we have the first, we have to make a that about us a link, right? It's a clickable link. Actually don't even have to click, just pass the mouse over, and we do that by adding the class drop down toggle, right, as you can see here. And then the about us is just text. See, but if I would just remove the us and save, see the us is not there anymore, so let's just put the about us back there. And this little I element here is that little arrow that you see, right? Just an annotation. Okay, so now within that LI we want to create a submenu, so it's an UL structure, and always the UL would have the class drop down menu, right? Because it's part of this of the top menu there, and it's a drop down list. And then within that UL you will add all the LIs, so each LI would be a sub option in the menu. So for example, here we have history, mission, coverage, and so on. So there's 6 LIs, as you can see here. Oops, 6 LIs, right? And then within a LI you have to add a link, right? Just an A tag. So you have a link to each of those pages, and then the link, you put the name, whichever name you would want here. As you can see, history, mission, have them there. And this is another key PHP element. This tells to WordPress where the WordPress should go to look for the pages. And so instead of putting href and then you put in the physical path or a lot of dot dot colon or dot dot slash or whatever, even this is slashes here, right, which is time consuming. You have to know exactly where it is. This is where WordPress comes very handy. You just put the PHP echo site URL and the site name on within the single quotes here, and the WordPress background would take care of that for you. So it knows that the site URL history will redirect to the history page automatically for you. And as if we go here and click on history, see, it opens up the history page automatically. Of course, it's empty, so we don't see anything there, but it's definitely a history page, as you can see at the top. And so this is very nice because you can start creating pages, and as long as you use a similar structure that I'll show you in other videos, you don't have to worry about where those pages are. Right, so this is another very important instruction that you're going to use all the time for linking pages, right? So that's the PHP code, it's site URL, where you put the site name within the single quotes, and that happens for all the li elements in the menu, right? We have all of them there, and all these names here are actually, if we look, they're page names. And when we look on the left side, you'll see that all these pages, they start with the name page. That is to facilitate the recognition of those files. So all these pages were created by me, right? And they have links coming from the top menu. So for example, the history, it would actually be page-history. So if you would like to add a new li here at the top, let's say after supporters, so let's say that we would add one, the test page, and test here. So when you do site URL test, what you would actually have to do is to right click Domain and new and PHP file and create a new page-test.php. So that folder, the file would be added here, and then whenever you would click on the header here for the test on the test page, it would actually redirect you to the test, right? There are a few extra details I'm going to cover on the next video. So this is actually where the header is. Let's just remove the page test and remove it from here for now. So this is where the header is, the header.php file, where you will make changes that will affect the top menu. So what you have to know here is the whole div, right? It's the top navigation, but specifically the menu, which is an UL and has LIs. Each LI is an option here, and each LI can have sub ULs, right? Sub unordered lists, up as many as you want here, as long as it fits nicely in the page, as you can see.